So at the end of the year, quickly approaching, we look to the final pay-per-view of 1981, and it starts with a pre-show match between Sam Keith and Dorian Swan. Sam gets the victory, and I will say, though Sam is slow to progressing up or progressing forward, and is not progressing at the pace that I thought, the God's honest truth. He is in fact progressing, and that's what counts for something. The fact of the matter is, though, Sam Keith was not wrapped up in anything, as he just wrapped up his long-standing rivalry with Brooklyn Punk a couple of weeks ago, and was not wrapped up in anything else as we head to the end of the year. The Shaman was also featured on the pre-show alongside Dr. Funkenstein, as the Shaman was one of the many people brought into the company in 1981. And by far the best pre-show match. Chris Marcus shows, in my opinion, why he still might have a bright future. It's just a question of if his bright future will happen here in Supreme. The reason being because, well, for lack of a better word, in the position that he was in, at a particular time, he chose to express an opinion that honestly was not his opinion to express. By that I mean, when he was TV champion, I had him put over Malcolm Rogue. They were both around the same popularity. He rejected it because of his personality, and the fact of the matter is, he's not really in the position to pick and choose who he puts over and who he doesn't. Based on his status in the company. But the pay-per-view opens with Knight Rider and Mayhem up against Big Bad and Dangerous Cronus and Hagar. And the fact is, in what is, for the time being, the blow-off between the One Percenters and Cronus and Hagar, large boost to star quality during matches and angles. That is fan-fucking-tastic. But Cronus and Hagar finally give the One Percenters one of the biggest wins of their career, as these two have been going at it since the end of September. Heading in, I don't know if it was the end of September or Golden Dreams. But either way, this 3-month feud is over for the time being. Yes, I keep saying for the time being, because at a certain point we will revisit Hagar and Cronus against the One Percenters. Athena is interrupted by Holly Pewter, as Holly Pewter claims that Athena gave Sue Prince the title shot tonight because she feels bad for her. Not because Sue Prince earned the opportunity. Holly Pewter is one of the people that came out of my training facility, and honestly, I'm not going to dispute the idea. Holly Pewter is the only person from the training facility that graduated this year that is still under contract with my company. One of the guys got released. The other two got sent on excursion because I have partnerships with companies that, honestly, everyone else that was on excursion was brought back, and I understand now why I was told to send people on excursion for 2 or 3 years, because this way it's not all in their back. But Holly Pewter is the only one that stayed around because Holly was needed for the women's division. And at least now, with the popularity of Athena, I'm going to try and bring up Holly, sort of like I'm doing with Luis Montero and Mickey Starr, where Mickey Starr is trying to bring up Luis Montero. I don't know how well it's going to go, but we're going to try. Because at least this way, I can decide from that if I want to release Holly or not. And move on to a different female participant. But Athena shows why she's the leader of the division and going to be the leader of the division heading into 1982. And that is because she can get a 59 against Sue Prince. I could be wrong, but Sue Prince was here before under the name Sue Prince. It is actually Peggy Sue, Princess Peggy Sue. The reason why she feels bad the reason why she would feel bad is because for 2 years, Sue Prince was here before there was a women's division. And for 2 years, or at least a year and a half, Sue was promised this or given that, or, it kept starting and stopping. It was never consistent with her being a fixture on television like it was for Athena. But now she's back as a part of the women's division as my way of giving her a gift to say thank you for being here early on. And now you get a chance to wrestle, because the problem was I had her on an exclusive contract, which meant she could not wrestle anywhere else or for anyone else. So for the better part of 2 years, she did not wrestle whatsoever. But speaking of wrestling, and speaking of a team that has had a busy month to end a year, that is Teddy and Joey, as Teddy and Joey are set for their match against Rocky and Dusty, and set to defend the tag team titles for what will be their 8th title defense tonight against the Streets of Rage. Not 8th in a row against them, it's just their 8th overall. Rick Rumble is out questioning the sanity questioning the sanity, and honestly, if Marcus McKing is all there, or if he's, if the cheese fell off the cracker ahead of Rick Rumble's New England Championship title defense against Marcus McKing. For those who might not be aware, Marcus McKing initially landed a championship title shot against Rick Rumble through the Fall Classic, and due to the due to the ending of the match, Marcus demanded a rematch because he blamed Benny Gordato for not knowing who the challenger was. That Marcus McKing is an uncrowned king, and you don't treat royalty like a common man. You treat royalty like they're royalty. But now Marcus McKing is the New England champion, defeating Rick Rumble and ending his multi-month reign as New England champion. As for lack of a better word, I am giving a bit more direction to the New England title now than I did when Max Fury was the champion. Even though it was what I wanted with Max Fury being the champion for an extended period of time, it could have gone better. It could have gone better, and could have been a little, the title could have been a little bit more featured and a little less directionless. But now there's a direction, and I'm just going to say it, this feud between Rick Rumble and Marcus McKing is far from over. And now we move to our friend Hollywood Mike Kinsey, as Hollywood hosts the red carpet with Brooklyn Punk and Malcolm Rogue, where it is official that Malcolm Rogue and Brooklyn Punk will face off one-on-one at the final Slamfest of 1981 for the SWF Television Championship. And the reason is because the reason is because Clint Wayne is still. It's not that Clint Wayne is not. Frankly, Clint Wayne wants to start 1982 as a champion, so he wants the winner of this television title match to end the year. And Malcolm Rogue has been begging for a title shot the last couple of weeks, so he's getting the title shot heading into, or as we end off, 1981. Malcolm Rowe goes into his title defense getting a win on riding high on a win streak as he defeated D. Ray Morton, and now Sam Strong is back talking about wanting to be the United States champion once again, and that he will defeat Angus and Aries tonight. And he says Angus and Aries because Aries is the reason why he lost the title. As well, frankly, Aries helped Angus win the title last month, but now Angus is out to prove that he didn't need Aries to help him win the belt, and Sam wants the belt back. But now we move to our second title match of the night. It is Rocky and Dusty versus the Blazing Flames. The Flames have gone crazy defending the championships over the last couple of weeks, against everyone from Alex Pierce and Amiri Anjala. Actually, I think that was their last title defense. I know there was someone. I know there was another team in between, but I can't remember which team it was. Either way, we have new World Tag Team Champions, and it is Rocky and Dusty, as Rocky and Dusty get some measure of revenge against the Flames, defeating the Flames and ending what has been a reign that started back in May. Sorry, that started back in June and has gone from the summertime all the way to the fall. But we have new tag team champions, or we will have new tag team champions heading into 1982. And another solid match. These two, Joey and Teddy, are the reason why Rocky is getting good matches at 53 years old. And Dusty ain't no slouch, but I'm a big fan of the Flames. And now I know this might be a little confusing as to why this is happening, but what I would like to do is grab some members of the women's division and start positioning them in with, like, Holly with Athena, Angie with Alex Pierce. Why? Simple. It'll get them over. Like, I want to start in 1982 investing in the women's division because it'll allow me to get the women's division over a little bit more. And it'll allow me to build up the women's division. It will allow me to build up the women's division. So that's why this is happening. And also, it's not a rare sight for Angie Lee to be an interviewer, as she was an interviewer. She was an interviewer / commentator when she first debuted, but she got back in the ring. So now she's back on the, as they talk about, basically they talk about 1982, but there's some subtle under the guys flirting between the two of them, setting up something more that we can address in 1982 or look into in 1982. Sam Strong and the announcers talk up the upcoming United States Championship match. And unfortunately, this was actually their worst match, I believe, or the worst match between the two of them. But Angus McLeod gets a successful title defense against Sam Strong, as Angus will leave 1981 as champion, and Sam will leave 1981 as the most improved star in the company, thanks to his association with Mickey Starr. Thanks to his association with Mickey Starr, Sam Strong will leave 1981 in a hell of a lot better position than he was when 1981 started. And now, with people that are honestly starting 1980, that are ending 1981 in better positions, it is honestly everyone here. Luis Montero had one-sided popularity. Slater White started 1981 as a part of the Lamberti family, as did the Mastodon, and Dexter Priceweather was not even a part of the company. But now all of them are here, and they're feuding with Mickey Starr. As Luis Montero again, their group again puts over the numbers game that Mickey Starr will have to deal with, because this is something completely different for Mickey Starr, as who knows the last time Mickey Starr actually had to fight the numbers game. Honestly, Mickey Starr spent most of 1981, dealing with his former stablemates, the Flames. And that wasn't an uneven affair. That was an even affair every step of the way. It was an even affair. So now, Mickey Starr again is unmatched because of the numbers game against Slater White, Luis Montero, Mastodon, and Dexter Priceweather. But help is on the way. Mickey Starr again makes it clear he's done this before. He's been in this position before. He was champion before and has fought an endless list of people that have said that they will take his place and take his seat at the table. But the fact is, Montero will be no different. And it's too early to give up hope. Honestly, I did not know what to expect with this match, and that's why this match was in the semi-main event. Honestly, that's why this match was in the semi-main event. Because this feud is still developing comparatively to Angus McLeod and Sam Strong, and which, by the way, I think that match with Angus and Sam Strong would have gotten better had I given interview time to Aries and Angus and not just Sam Strong. But the fact of the matter is, I wanted to space out the big matches a little bit, so that's why I didn't give interview time to them, because I wanted to space out the big matches. But either way, of course, Mickey Starr wins, but under dubious means, as Slater White runs in, causes the DQ, and shows that Mickey Starr is going to have to deal with the numbers game. But again, help is on the way. And now we move to an interesting turn of events, and the reason why this is an interesting turn of events is, frankly, because this match was supposed to happen. But I honestly realized a way to keep this match from happening. And the way to keep this match from happening was that throughout this entire rivalry, Larry Grubbs has been telling the Max Patriot, back out. Back off. Keep your nose out of our business. Leave it alone. Forget about it. Move along. And so he comes out before the match once again and says exactly the same thing. Forget about it. Move along. Forget about us. Just go away. Do something else. Patriot says no and is defiant to the end, but then Max Fury jumps Patriot, causing inflicting a beatdown on the Max Patriot, showing Larry Grubbs' warnings were meant to be heeded and not ignored like the Patriot did. But the fact is, the match is not happening tonight, thanks to the attack from the Max Fury, and this feud will continue heading into 1982. We do, however, as brought to us by matchmaker Antonio Moretti, have a standby match. And the standby match is Adrian Romero defending the Shooting Star Championship against Blitzkrieg, as Adrian Romero again in about a month has squeezed in 4 successful title defenses since winning the lightweight championship, or to classify it as unique to Supreme, as a lot of people do have lightweight titles. We have a Shooting Star title because I felt like that fit. A cruiserweight type title or a lightweight type title, and that's where Adrian Romero defends his championship against the incoming Blitzkrieg, and Romero again gets a successful title defense. But we have one more match waiting in the wings, and the last match waiting in the wings is, and I should have realized that this was going to negatively affect the feud because it happened with the one earlier. Ray Kingman and Richie Pangrazio. Ray Kingman has been feuding with the All-Star team since June, when he lost to Richie thanks to interference from other members of the All-Star team. But over the last 6 months, Ray Kingman has been picking apart the members of the All-Star team, piece by piece, from Vincent Morris to Max Fury to the insurance policy of Adrian Romero. And now it all comes back to where it began. His first match against his former stablemates was against Richie Pangrazio. And now his last match could be against Richie Pangrazio, as Ray Kingman was willing to put his career on the line if it meant Coach would put the All-Star team on the line. And the fact of the matter is, Coach did agree because he couldn't resist the idea, he couldn't refrain from the temptation of running Ray Kingman out of Supreme Wrestling. And thus, it is Ray Kingman's career versus the All-Star team, which means if Ray Kingman wins, the All-Star team must disband. And if Richie Pangrazio wins, Ray Kingman leaves SWF. So let's find out the results of the main event of the final pay-per-view of 1981. And of course, it is Ray Kingman wins. Wait. I feel like I made a boo-boo. And the boo-boo that I made was that Ray Kingman was supposed to win. And I think I forgot to pick who was going to win. But the other side of the coin is I was going to do this anyway. I was tempted to do this anyway. The reason why I was putting a pin in it is because I had plans for Ray at the beginning of the year. And the fact of the matter is, I am dumbfounded because I wasn't expecting it, but Richie Pangrazio saves the All-Star team as Ray Kingman is gone from Supreme Championship Wrestling. It's not SCW, it's SWF. Ray Kingman falls to the All-Star team and loses again, this time losing his career. But I know it seems like I'm unsure of what I want to do, and the reality of the situation is I'm kind of unsure if I don't want to redo it. But I think the reality of the situation is if I was going to go the other way, I would have remembered to pick who was going to win. And I think the reason why I did it this way the reason why I did it this way is simply put that I wanted to leave things open. That I wanted to leave things open. And because I wanted to leave things open, that caused some things to change. What does this mean for Ray Kingman? You're going to have to wait and find out, because this video is over, but we do have one show left in 1982 and 1981 that I will not be recording. But this means, with the Flames as tag team champions, with Angus McLeod and Mickey Starr retaining their championships, and of course Adrian Romero retaining his, as well as Athena retaining hers, and Richie getting the biggest win of his career, the fact is, there's a lot to talk about in 1982, but that's for another video. And with that being said, that is it from me, and I will see you in the next one.